to
take off, hoser.
That's right. What are we doing today,
This is a special from our homeland, Canada. Canada.
Yes.
This is a show about 10 of the up-and-coming bands that we think you should check out from our homeland of Canada. And when you think of Canada, you think of hockey.
Yes.
You think of good beer, and you think, of course, of molten moose metal.
Molten moose metal.
So
you know
here
what
we
I think
go.
of? I think of snow, because I think of snow metal. That's where we live, Canada, and there's lots of snow. Snow metal.
Not all the time.
All right, so let's,
All right, here we go. Number 10, Jim. What do you got for number 10?
Going to Saskatchewan, Regina. That's right, Saskatchewan, Regina to the prairies. Prairie Metal. We got Magnetic. The album's called Storm. Magnetic. Car driving. You put that music on, you drive your car. Classic heavy metal. Melodic, catchy, and hooky.
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 Is that a word?
That's a word, Alan.
Catchy hooks.
Catchy hooks. Melodic metal from the prairies. That's Prairie Metal.
Rider Pride.
That's right. You have the tumbleweed. The tumbleweed's made out of barbed wire there.
Number 9.
9 out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
Instanzia. Listen to them, Jim. Very good band. A little bit more on the prog side.
Yes.
Very dramatic sounding vocals, kind of like a Roy Khan from Camelot. Very almost theatrically.
Yeah.
Theatrical vocals.
Yes.
And but they're a great band. I mean, there's a lot of good musicianship, kind of, like I said, Dream Theater influence, I would say.
Yeah.
One to definitely check out.
Their album's called Ghosts.
From right here in Montreal.
Right from Montreal. And what I like about this band, it's symphonic. It's very catchy and melodic, and as well, you don't have those high helium power metal vocals. We're all used to those high helium, high falsettos. Here you're singing more. I feel relaxed when I'm listening to this music. And the more times you listen to it, the more times you like it. So check out Instanzia from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, their album Ghosts.
Okay, number 8 is one of my favorite bands coming out of Montreal as well.
What are they called?
Here we go. You're not going to get this, guys. It's called Dance, Laurie, Dance. Now, when you hear that band, you're not thinking metal.
No.
Okay, it's a hard rocking band. But even at that, Dance, Laurie, Dance, you think it's some kind of disco or techno pop stuff.
Lady
In fact,
Gaga.
if any of you guys out there watch Family Jewels with Gene Simmons, there's an episode where he came to Montreal to talk to a band he had signed.
Ooh.
His lovely wife, Shannon,
Yes.
and fellow Canadian, Shannon Tween,
Newfoundland.
actually spent time getting wasted with the band that he signed, and Gene discovered this band called Dance, Laurie, Dance. So if you've seen that episode, this is the band I'm talking about. These guys, I see it's a mix between Andrew WK and Airborne. Straight ahead rock and roll, nothing but fun lyrics, good times, songs like Montreal Hooker, Party Till You Puke kind of thing. There's lots of kind of really straightforward, and they don't take themselves too seriously, and neither should you, but you should definitely check them out.
Good. Now, number
7.
Number 7. You know what? We're going back to the prairies. We're going to Regina, Saskatchewan, and the band's called Into Eternity.
Yeah.
Most famous for?
Stu Block.
Stu Block.
So
That's
there you
where
go,
he
Jim.
comes from.
Into Eternity, the only reason I found out about them is because the link between Stu Block and Iced Earth and his former band Into Eternity.
Yeah.
I know that I picked up a couple albums that you've been listening to.
Yes, thank you very much, Alan.
And what do you think of that?
I think
band?
I owe you $10. Alan, these guys are always mutating, always changing. And when you put on the first track and the last track, they've changed to several different genres of metal.
All within the same album.
Yeah. So you got death metal, you got black metal, you got speed metal, you got prog metal, you got just classic metal.
Whatever you want.
Stu Block he's a hybrid. He's some sort of freaky vocalist where he just changes his vocal range from Judas Priest to death metal.
It's like a Hydra. You cut off his head, he comes with 3 different heads.
That's right.
3 different versions.
Now they have a female vocalist because Stu Block's in Iced Earth.
Yes.
And they're coming out with a new album shortly.
Number 6 is another band out of Montreal that I was fortunate enough to see. We were fortunate enough to meet at Saxon with the Biff Byford interview.
We knocked on the door. We go, can you please let us in? We're here for an interview.
Guys are there setting up.
Come on right in.
Again, very good. I see they're more like a Rhapsody, very proggy, very power metal.
Yeah.
And again, the vocalist a little bit on the lower range, a little bit more dramatic as well. But a true power metal band, very interesting. You got to try out Heroik. That's Heroik.
Very good speller. Very good
They
speller.
were opening up for Saxon.
Yeah.
They were playing in front of family and friends, put on a great show.
Yes.
Check them out.
You know, that's the Montreal metal scene. It's very vibrant.
Yeah, you would think it's voivodish kind of death metal, but no, we're getting quite a name with the power metal as well.
We're known in Canada for being classic metal. That's what we're known around the world, for classic metal. Just like Europe is known for power metal, we're more the classic genre.
All right, we're going to number 5.
What do we got for number 5? We've got 3 Inches of Blood from Victoria, BC, on the west coast of Canada.
What a great surprise, Jim. I've heard of them for years, but I thought they would be more into the death metal, kind of doom metal, so I didn't really check them out. It's not really my thing, but this was a pleasant surprise.
It's Overkill meets Maiden.
You've got those Ripper Owens kind of screaming high notes, but the music is unbelievable itself.
Unbelievable.
And that's what we were talking about is, you know, a lot of them don't have that high range. This guy certainly does, and he doesn't, it's relentless.
It's relentless.
It's relentless.
It's relentless.
Reminds me of like Dan Beeler with Exciter, you know?
Right, that's right.
3 Inches of Blood. Check them out. They're very worthwhile.
Okay, number 4.
Borealis.
Borealis.
There's one, we did one with some of the up-and-coming bands that we saw for the coming years on a previous episode. That was my personal choice.
Yes.
Again, they opened up for Saxon. I was very impressed. I've been checking out their website beforehand. Very proggy, great musicianship, good vocals, great artwork too on their album covers.
Beautiful.
So they've got some stuff going on. They're very good friends with Heroik because they're in the same kind of vein.
Yeah.
So there was another band to check out. They're out of Toronto, Canada, I believe.
That's
and
right.
That's Borealis.
Yeah. And there we go. Number 2, and it's a big one. No, sorry, number 3. Number 3. Cauldron.
I love these guys.
Again, out of Toronto, Ontario.
I believe it. A trio.
A trio.
I think they're influenced by Rush. Watch
so
some of their videos. They're absolutely hilarious.
What are they? Classic metal.
Classic. They go right back to the 80s. If you like White Wizard and Steel Panther, these bands that pay homage to the classic bands from the 80s, you're going to love Cauldron. They're right there. They're like White Wizard. I mean, they're right there. The sound is so much like the early 80s.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't even say it's the 80s. I just say they're great sounding classic metal band.
Singer's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So there's a Cauldron. Cauldron. Cauldron.
All right, here we go. Number 2. Here's a big one.
Yeah.
Here's a band that the world needs to know
They need to know about it.
urgently. Everyone, attention. Attention world. Striker. Number 2. A Canadian.
Yeah.
These guys are from Edmonton, Alberta. Again, once more.
Alberta, jeez.
Alberta's just
Viking Alberta's got
exploding.
Nickelback. Edmonton's got Striker.
That's right, Striker. Classic heavy metal. Drive your car, but don't drive too fast.
Yeah.
Just drive at the speed limit.
And what's the name of their album, Jim?
Armed to the teeth. And guess who produces it?
Michael Wagner.
Michael Wagner from Accept.
From Raven, going years back, from Hydrogen, recently from Hydrogen. So Michael Wagner is not retired, he's still out there, and he just did Striker, and it shows. It's a great sounding album.
Yes.
Armed to the teeth, you'll love it. You'll love the album cover. I won't tell you what it is, but you'll love it, and you'll get it when you hear the album title and you see the cover. But
ripping guitar solos, high-octane vocals, non-stop, relentless.
High-speed GTO. Speaking of White Wizard, that's what Jimmy says. You're going to be driving to this in your high-speed GTO.
That's right.
Go out. This is a must. This is a must. I'm telling you, Striker, you've got to go out and get that album as soon as possible.
All right, here we go. Number 1.
Number 1,
We're just going to set this up.
I'll let you take it.
From Ottawa,
Jim
Ontario, Canada. A trio.
Joe.
Wait, Joe Thrasher.
Thrasher.
Joe Thrasher.
You can hear the influence.
Joe Thrasher, the best Canadian band today in 2012. Why is that, Alan? They got speed, they got thrash, they got the classic sound. They're comical sometimes, yet they're serious other times. Joe Thrasher, go check them out. They released this album independently, by themselves.
There you go.
But it sounds like they're on Metal Blade Records.
That's it, because they love
big
metal.
Production. The cover art was done by, who was the cover art done by?
Joe Patagno. We also did the Motorhead album.
That's right.
Rock and Roll.
Yes.
Amongst others.
Also, guest vocalist on the album is who?
Dan Beeler.
Exciter,
ex-Exciter drummer. And vocalist.
And
you can see, honestly, Jim, on this album, I know
we're cutting each other off, Alan. We're cutting each other off.
And the name of the album is?
Cries of War, that's what it's called.
There you go.
The name of this album is Cries of War. Joe Thrasher, Joe Thrasher, Joe Thrasher. We need them to get signed right away.
You can see the influence coming from Ottawa.
Yes.
Exciter was from there. You can
Capital
hear
of
the
Canada.
Exciter influence, the vocalist. They even do a song that talks about Razor and all the other bands
Yes.
that came out there in the day. So if you like the thrash, it's solid album. Again, we got to get these guys signed to major labels. That's one of the reasons why we're doing these shows.
Yes.
We want you to check them out and support them when they tour in your area, because I believe Joe Thrasher will be touring throughout Eastern Canada shortly.
They even do a song called, guess what? Canadian Metal.
That's the band.
Canadian Metal. Canadian Metal.
Jimmy's having a heart attack right now.
Mass confusion, total decay.